Lawyers for a Badgers player accused of sexual assault are trying to get one of those charges thrown out. We'll explain why.
Flooding fears grow as water levels continue to rise. Now many emergency plans are in place. I'll have the latest this morning from the Isthmus.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 This Morning. 6 o'clock right now on this Friday, August 24th, and now we just wait. See what happens weather-wise.
Yeah, well, we do have more rain in the forecast today. It's already showing up on the radar map, so it's on its way this morning. Not good news for Madison and parts of western Dane County. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Still dry here. We do have a lot of clouds in the area. It is going to be a cloudy and cool day today. It's an alert day as well. We definitely don't need any more rain for most of the region. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, some of which may produce heavy rain, as well as an isolated risk for severe weather. Here's a look at the radar map this morning. Scattered showers have been filling in a little bit across southwestern Wisconsin. They're making a path to the north and east and should arrive in Madison right around 7 or a little bit later. Some heavier, steadier rain just to the south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And again, with an east-northeasterly track, some of that steadier rain is going to move into southern Wisconsin this morning. Isolated rumbles of thunder will be possible as well. So if you're planning out your day, grab the umbrella. Rain is likely this morning, then a break through the middle of the day, but rain returns later today into tonight. So mainly 2 rounds of rain that we're watching. Here's a look at your first alert traffic this morning. Still kind of a mess in downtown Madison. We have East Johnson Street closed between North Baldwin and First Street due to flooding there. Elsewhere in the area, there is an accident on the Beltline. This is the westbound Beltline near John Nolan Drive. Volume is still low, though, so we're not seeing any delays with that accident. But keep in mind there are still road closures due to the flooding. The eastbound Beltline ramp to University is still closed. It's flooded out. Highway 69 closed from PB to 151. U.S. Highway 14 from Mazomanie to Middleton is still closed, and Highway 78 from Black Earth to Mazomanie closed as well. There are also some closures in Belleville. So the roads that were closed yesterday, a lot of them still closed this morning.
And we don't know when they're going to unclosed.
Right,
I mean, there's no way to know when they're going to be reopened because of all the problems still on them.
Right, and there is a real wet weather pattern settling in, so we have rain in the forecast right into next week.
Woof.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
6:02 right now, and we start this hour in downtown Madison, where the Yahara River is expected to rise another 3 to 6 inches today, not counting the rain that we're expecting. Emergency crews decided to open the Tenney Dam for a second time yesterday ahead of today's showers and storms. Officials say Lake Mendota was reaching unsustainable levels, but as long as they keep releasing water, they are not concerned about the dam breaching or breaking there. Now, right near that dam, East Johnson Street is still closed near Tenney Park this morning, and even more traffic headaches are expected for drivers on the east side of the Isthmus.
Several streets downtown are already closed. Drivers are being rerouted around them. That list of streets that are going to be closed is only expected to grow. Christina Laurie's live downtown this morning with the latest. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Adam and Danica. The mayor's office will give an update on the flooding situation at a special meeting that's scheduled for later this morning. Now, city officials say it will be days, though, if not weeks, before things return to normal. Parts of East Johnson and East Main Streets near the Yahara River are still closed today, as well as East Mifflin near Livingston Street, near where we are this morning. East Washington is currently seeing some intermittent lane closures and could face a full shutdown sometime next week. People who live downtown are being told not to park their cars in low-lying areas, which constitute many of the blocks between Livingston and Ingersoll Streets. And for the next week, cars are no longer allowed to park on Willie Street in an attempt to allow more traffic through that area. People who live in apartments or homes that open out to street level are putting out sandbags this morning in preparation for even more rain on the way. Now, Dane County officials are working to tally the damage to roads, businesses, and bridges. As of Thursday, American Family Insurance had processed nearly 500 vehicle and property damage claims. that number only expected to grow over the next few days. Back to you, Adam and Danica.
United Way helping nearly 900 people already. That news conference that the mayor's going to be holding at 1 o'clock is going to be on channel3000.com as well. Christina, thank you.
So along with drivers out there, several Metro Transit routes are being detoured because of this flooding. Route 15 is being detoured away from Deming Way. In particular, multiple routes that normally take East Johnson will be affected for days or maybe even weeks at this point. As the water continues to fill downtown, route access will continue to change. So be sure to check in on your routes before you head out.
So the city is offering free sand and ready-to-fill sandbags at a number of locations around Madison. That includes at many cities' parks, along with public parking lots on East Main Street and on McKenna Boulevard. You do need to bring your own shovel, though, to help fill the sandbags you need, kind of like wintertime in August. The city's website has this map you're seeing of all of the locations that offer sandbags. Now, sandbags at these locations are only for City of Madison residents.
Madison garbage crews will be making some special runs today and Monday to try and pick up anything damaged during the flooding. If you have larger items, we're talking about furniture or carpets maybe that need to be tossed, the Streets Division's asking that you contact them directly to set up specific pickup times for those items. You can do that over on the city's website.
People living in Shorewood Hills are among those throwing stuff out this morning. Garbage trucks lined Burbank Place yesterday as people had to throw out all sorts of personal things that had been ruined by this week's flood. Now, many homes in the area are themselves not salvageable. The homes aren't salvageable after the basements collapsed, and people living there are trying to figure out what to do with what they have left.
It's a really hard feeling. It's pretty traumatic. It's hard to want to live here anymore. It's something you really have to think about. You have to decide, weigh the options of if this could happen again, the fact of what the problems could be, the cost of reinvesting, rebuilding. Those are really decisions we're going to have to weigh on our mind and decide how we want to go from here.
So many of the people who live on that street don't have flood or renter's insurance, didn't think they needed it, considering where they were living. The Shorewood Pool, meanwhile, has deck chairs floating in it this morning, and it has been closed for the rest of the year.
So in an attempt to get services to flooding victims more quickly and efficiently, a special resource center will be set up today at Mazomanie Elementary on Ann Street. A number of agencies looking to help will be there from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then tomorrow, those organizations will be at Blackhawk Church in Middleton from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The Red Cross also is still running emergency shelters at Mazomanie Elementary and Madison West High School.
7 minutes after 6 now, we're continuing to follow the sexual assault case involving Badger wide receiver Quintez Cephas. A judge gave Cephas a $5,000 signature bond in that case yesterday. Police say he sexually assaulted two women while they were drunk back in April. In court yesterday, his lawyers filed a motion to have one of those charges dismissed, saying there's evidence that will prove Cephas's innocence, including a text conversation between him and one of the alleged victims. The judge, has not ruled on that motion just yet.
Attorney General Brad Schimmel says the state's getting close to clearing a backlog of untested sexual assault kits. He told Wisconsin Public Radio there are fewer than 500 kits left to check for DNA on possible suspects. The Department of Justice originally identified nearly 7,000 kits taken from women at hospitals around Wisconsin that have never been checked. The state received a $4 million grant this spring to have those kits tested. This has become an issue, an election issue, that is, as Schimmel's being criticized by his Democratic challenger Josh Kaul for not acting faster to help rape victims in Wisconsin.
City of Madison's no longer being sued by the real estate developer working on the major Judge Doyle Square project off the Capitol Square. City Attorney Mike May reported yesterday that Beitler Real Estate Services backed out of its lawsuit this week. The Chicago-based firm sued the city this summer after the Common Council authorized spending more money to finish that project. 8 minutes after the hour right now, coming up maybe our favorite story of the morning. It's People Helping People story, as dozens of teenagers in Sun Prairie are getting ready to honor their city's heroes. The coach is going to be here in studio to talk about it in a couple of minutes.
Hattie is talking about an alert day weather-wise here. There's a chance for up to an inch of rain. You can see that rain falling across some areas here already this morning. Hattie is sharing a don't blame the messenger kind of forecast when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning from the patio. No umbrella needed right now, but I'll be honest, it's right here, close by this morning because rain is moving into the area. I do expect scattered showers and thunderstorms in a couple of rounds today, one this morning and then one again later on today. For that reason, and also the ongoing flooding that we have here across southern Wisconsin, today is an alert day. Parts of the area definitely don't need another drop of rain, but unfortunately, that's in the forecast. Take a look at Doppler track this morning, and you'll see pretty widespread rain moving out of eastern Iowa into northern Illinois. Here in southern Wisconsin, so far, things have been pretty scattered, but that rain is starting to fill in a little bit more. And with an east-northeasterly track to this system, I do expect that heavier, steadier rain to clip parts of far southern Wisconsin yet this morning. Has been making pretty steady progress to the east, should arrive here in Madison around 7 or shortly thereafter. Now you'll hear some isolated rumbles of thunder. That severe weather outlook, though, has been shifted a little bit further to the west. The slight risk area just now clipping the counties along the Mississippi River Valley. Marginal risk for severe weather extends to us here in Madison. Precipitation potential through the day today. With this first round, I'm expecting generally 1/4 of an inch, with the exception of far southern Wisconsin, where amounts could be a little higher. Then we'll see likely a break, dry weather through the afternoon hours, and then by after 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, then more scattered showers and thunderstorms moving in, inching up those rain totals just a little bit. But good news, these numbers are a little bit lower than what they were yesterday. The heaviest rain now right along the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, where 3/4 to an inch is possible. Here's a live look from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Definitely raining this morning in Platteville. Kind of a dreary start to this Friday morning. With the rain, it's 63 degrees there, 63 as well in Mineral Point, 66 here in Madison with still dry conditions. Southeasterly winds will be increasing today to the 10 to 20 mile an hour range, so a little breezy and cool with clouds hanging around the area. Take a look at your future track forecast model if you want to time out this rain. Future track is really diminishing the rain as we head towards the morning hours. I think it's going to hold together a little bit better than that. We'll likely see some rain here in Madison, but then a break through the lunch hour with scattered showers and thunderstorms returning later today into tonight. Especially during those overnight hours, we could see some heavy showers move through the area. The rain should diminish on Saturday, leaving us with clearing skies and high temperatures back in the 80s. A little cool today with that rain, but then we heat things up pretty quickly. We're in the mid to upper 80s. By Sunday, heat index values will be getting into the 90s, and we'll have to watch that next storm on Sunday. It could bring some severe weather and additional heavy rain to southern Wisconsin. Now it's time to get a look at your first alert traffic with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Well, we're watching a crash on the westbound Beltline right now near John Nolan exit. So far, volume is down on that side, so it's not really causing any major delays. Here in Dane County, we are still dealing with lots of flooded roads, including the ramp exiting the eastbound Beltline at University Avenue in Middleton, still shut down due to high water. And Highway 14 between Mazomanie and Middleton is closed due to flooding as well. Heading into the downtown area, Johnson Street is closed between 1st Street and Baldwin Street in both directions. You definitely need to take East Washington or a different route. And other main roads leading into Madison, including the interstate, they're still cruising along at the usual speeds right now with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. So it has been a little more than a month since a deadly explosion hit downtown Sun Prairie, and in the weeks since, that community has done what it can to support the city's first responders, one of whom died in that explosion.
That support continues tonight when the Sun Prairie High School football team wears special uniforms to honor those first responders when they play Beloit Memorial in their home opener. The coach has one of those jerseys. Coach Brian Kaminsky, good to see you this morning.
Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it.
So my parents are educators. My wife's a teacher. They always talk about teachable moments coming out of even the worst of situations. What's the teachable moment here for your kids?
Just about giving back to the community. You know, when the explosion took place, right afterwards, we had about 8 kids text, hey, what can we do to get involved and give back? And that was pretty special to watch our kids want to rally behind our community and watch our community come together through this devastating blow.
This is something that you've had in mind for many seasons, and you know, it kind of goes on the back burner. It's easy for that to happen ahead of a season, but this time there was no question, right?
Without a doubt. You know, I've heard about schools doing it up north and something we wanted to talk about and do, but unfortunately never got around doing it. And then when this took place, it was just, there was no other thing to do than get involved and go ahead and try to put this thing together quickly.
So we want you to be able to show the jersey. Yeah. So tonight, not only are your team going to be wearing these jerseys, but home opener, you're going to have first responders leading the team out onto the field. I mean, Put yourself into what that's going to feel like, do you think?
It's going to be emotional. It's just Sun Prairie is such a great community. It's a community event to have a football game there, and we're excited to bring all the first responders there and be able to give back and just as a community say thank you for everything you do, not only during that day but each and every day of their lives and what they put on the table for us. And it's just an unbelievable way for our community to come together and again say thank you.
Do you find your coaches and staff really understand the weight of what is happening tonight? I mean, it's going to be an emotional moment.
I think it'll find out at about 6:55 when all the first responders come on the field with us and we present some game jerseys to unfortunately the people that were injured and unfortunately the firefighter ultimately lost his life and present that to their family. It's gonna be pretty emotional. We know and we understand that, but again, it's just our way to say thank you for everything that they've done.
Got an idea what you're going to say to the team before the game?
No, it's going to be one of those things that I think just wearing that Sun Prairie normally across the chest. Now we have it with first responders. We're playing for something bigger than just our football team tonight.
You talked about the leadership academy that you have over the summer for your teammates, and really quickly, it's not their goals this year were not about winning state. What were their goals about?
About giving back to the community, and that's what makes this team special, what makes Sun Prairie truly special, makes me proud to be a community member there for the last 22 years.
Coach Brian Kaminsky, good luck tonight. Best of luck to you this season.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you
This
for
is great.
waking up.
Favorite story of the day.
Thank
you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Along with covering Sun Prairie's game tonight, our Prep Mania game of the week is Middleton at Verona, an early season showdown in the Big 8 Conference. News 3 Sports Director Jay Wilson and his team will have the call live on TVW and on channel3000.com. Kickoff for that game is at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be sure to have highlights and footage of this awesome ceremony too tonight and on News 3 at 10. All right, 6:18 right now. Switching gears, you hear cute puppets and a famous kid film director, and you think, hey, maybe this is a movie I can take the family to when it's raining this weekend. Our movie critic Will Loper says no. He is previewing the Happy Town Murders next on News 3 this morning.
Going to get an update this afternoon at 1 o'clock from the city of Madison about flooding and street closures. We will carry that live on channel3000.com. Hattie's going to update us on the next round of rain coming. We're hoping that it doesn't hit Sun Prairie Football Stadium later on tonight. News 3 this morning. We'll be right back.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Your first alert weather forecast today does include an alert day today for the potential for more rain across southern Wisconsin. There's an isolated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms, as well as the potential for some heavy rain. Here's a look at what's happening around the state this morning. We do have some rain pushing into western Wisconsin from north to south. Everyone's going to see at least a little bit of rain today. Here in southern Wisconsin, we definitely don't need the rain, but it is in the forecast. 2 rounds, one moving through this morning, then a break through the afternoon with another round of showers and thunderstorms expected late today into tonight. Now, any of the storms later today could produce some brief heavy downpours, as well as a little bit of lightning and thunder. Temperatures will stay on the cool side today, but we are going to warm up through the weekend. Highs back in the 80s on Saturday. A dry day Saturday with the rain ending in the morning. Then another chance for rain coming later Sunday, and that unsettled weather pattern sticks around through much of next week. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Hattie. Appreciate it.
Well played.
So there's a movie coming out this week, and it may feature cute puppets and be directed by the guy who did Muppet Treasure Island, but it is not, and we repeat, not a movie appropriate for kids.
The very, very R-rated flick is called The Happy Time Murders, and here with a preview is our film critic, Will Loper. I don't know even what to think about this one.
Any glance at the trailer should give you exactly what inappropriateness you're getting yourself into, which of course means I could barely show any of it on TV this morning, but take a look at the very small amount that I could show.
You two are the most decorated officers in this department. What do you see?
Looks like a rubber gone wrong to me.
This wasn't a robbery. This was a hit. What the? Someone out there is killing puppets.
Jerry,
What?
have a little respect for the dead.
I missed lunch.
Melissa McCarthy stars as a detective investigating the deaths of several puppets. The Happy Time Murders is rated very R.
Is that just a fantasy?
God, are you all right?
Sorry, I couldn't
You
even
had
show,
nothing.
You couldn't even show the punchline at the end there either. It just wasn't appropriate. It's so R-rated.
So you're talking about 30 seconds out of like a 4-minute trailer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I was able to work with. Yep.
Just know what you're walking into here. Yeah, definitely.
And unfortunately, it sounds like they kind of waste this subversive premise, and it's, for some surprising reason, boring, reviews are saying, which
Bummer.
makes me
Boring?
sad. Yeah.
With that
it's like
cast, it's like
Joel McHale, Melissa McCarthy, Elizabeth Banks.
Maya Rudolph is
Maya
just- yeah.
Rudolph. Yeah. How do you do that?
I don't know.
Review on Monday at
I'll
5:04.
have it. Yeah.
Good luck with that, too.
Oh boy.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Will.
Will.
Thank you guys.
6:25 right now. Coming up, we're going to get a check on traffic and an update on street closures here in Madison because of the flooding.
And all the rain that hit cities and villages in Dane County this week is now moving into Greene County, and they don't have any more sand to stop it. The day's top stories are next on News 3 this morning. The Tenney Dam is holding up right now, but keeping things that way will affect flooding in other areas on the isthmus.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning, 6:29 on this Friday, August 24th.
It's holding for now, except all the water levels continue to go up.
Yep, in other places.
Unfortunately, there's even more rain coming our way today. And not just today, it's kind of looking forward. Let's go outside to Hattie McLean, who's on the Hattie-O patio this morning. Hads, this is kind of a pattern that we're in over the next several days.
Yeah, a very wet weather pattern. What we need is a good solid week of dry weather here across southern Wisconsin, but Mother Nature is not going to deliver on that front. We continue with chances for rain, and due to the flooding already occurring in some spots, any additional showers and thunderstorms will be problematic today. They are pretty scattered this morning, but we're expecting 2 rounds of rain today, one early and then one again later on. There is an isolated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. Here's high-resolution Doppler radar zoomed in on southwestern Wisconsin. You can see some rain in Platteville and areas of Lafayette County experiencing some light to moderate rain at this hour. Those showers and isolated thunderstorms are lifting to the north and east, so I would expect that rain to move through the Madison area yet this morning. Good news, though, over the last half hour, it has been weakening, especially when you look at the rain that's moving out of Iowa into northern Illinois. Not as much lightning and thunder, and those rain amounts are weakening as well, so that is good news. But this rain will still push through the area yet this morning. Then we'll get a break through the middle of the day with more showers and thunderstorms possible later today into tonight. Overall, it's going to be kind of a breezy, cloudy, cool day with highs only near 70 degrees. Many road closures and things happening on the roads this morning to update you on. Again, keep in mind East Johnson is still closed in both directions from North Baldwin to North 1st Street. That's in the downtown area. Still dealing with an accident on the Beltline. This is on the westbound side of the Beltline near John Nolan Drive. No delays have formed due to that accident, so that is good news. Volume still relatively light. Hopefully they can get that cleared before everyone hits the roads this morning. Also closures elsewhere across western Dane County in Middleton, areas of Paoli, Belleville, and still dealing with some closures in Mazomanie and Cross Plains. So turn around, don't drown. Never drive on a road that is flooded, because at this point, you don't even know if that road exists below the water. And that's your first alert traffic.
Good advice. Thank you, Hattie. 6:31 right now. We're expecting an update from the mayor and city engineers this afternoon at 1 o'clock on flooding and traffic problems throughout the city. We'll carry that live on channel3000.com. As you heard Hattie talk about, there's expected to be more rain tonight as it falls today and into the weekend. Here's a look at the current flood risk map in Madison. You can tell basically the entire east side of the isthmus and running for a couple of miles along streets near the Ohio River is the area most impacted. The city says flooding in that area could last for more than a week. So lanes on East Washington and on 1st Street are expected to be closed down today.
East Johnson and East Main Streets are already shut down. The pooling water is leading as well to health concerns throughout the city. Christina Lori's live from high above the isthmus this morning with the latest. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Danica and Adam. It's being called a summer's worth of rain in just one day. And now this week's potentially record-breaking flooding is not only causing problems on area roadways, but on area waterways as well. Floodwaters carry many contaminants that pose health risks like sewage, fertilizer, manure, gas, and pesticides. Officials with the Department of Health in town say it's important to stay out of floodwaters if possible and to clean up properly. That means getting rid of any standing water as quickly as you can. If left alone, that water can grow mold, which poses health concerns. It's also recommended you be careful about using household water for drinking or cooking. If a wellhead has been submerged for any amount of time, contaminating floodwaters can pollute the drinking water. It's important you do not drink or bathe in water from a well that has been or is flooded until that well can be disinfected. There's also currently a slow no-wake order in effect for Lakes Mendota, Monona, Waubesa, and Kaganza. Lakes Monona and Waubesa have now surpassed their 100-year flood levels, and with more rain on the way, we can expect those water levels to rise. Back to you.
As a result of those water levels, all of the beaches here in Madison and Dane County are closed once again today because of bacterial levels that have risen as well. Christina, thank you.
There are a lot of people who will need assistance over the next few weeks, if not months, and a lot of you have already asked where you should be donating your time and money. Leah Linscheid has some of that information for us this morning. Good morning, Leah.
We focused a lot on the big picture here, right? This pretty devastating flooding for some folks in our area. But in the corners of that picture, you can always find people helping people. We love that, and we want to help. This is a list of places taking donations and supplies in the area. In Madison and Dane County, the Salvation Army has an emergency dispatch services fund for help with this flooding incident and future emergency situations. You can also always donate to Second Harvest Food Bank and St. Vincent de Paul. Over in Mazo-Maney, one of the hardest hit areas, the People's Community Bank has an area flood assistance fund set up. And in Middleton, a little more hands-on way to work. Police have asked you to check your road gutters and clear out any sticks or leaves off of your grates. In Monona, volunteers are needed to help bag sand if you've got shovels and gloves handy. Now, there is also that multi-agency resource center that's setting up in Mazo today and Middleton tomorrow, where folks can find help, maybe ask how they can help. You can find all of this information and more, along with links to different organizations. That's over on our website, channel3000.com.
Certainly things that people have in mind right now, especially if they haven't been impacted by this flooding. Leah, thank you so much.
6:35. The flooding concerns are continuing this morning for people who live downstream from the areas already covered with water. Greene County residents are watching the Sugar River this morning as water moves from places like Belleville and Albany. High water reached Broadhead yesterday. The river there and Decatur Lake are overflowing, closing down some roads around Broadhead. Now, to make matters worse, Greene County says it doesn't have any more sand to fill the sandbags to help protect homes and businesses in that area.
The DNR is warning people about debris and quick-moving currents in waterways across southern Wisconsin due to this flooding. And the Cambridge News reports a man is okay after being swept away by the rising water in the Koshkonong Creek. That man and two kids were in a canoe that capsized yesterday afternoon. The children were able to hold on to the boat, but the man was quickly carried downstream. He was eventually able to climb to shore. Rescue officials in Cambridge say that rocks, tree stumps, and other hazards could capsize other boats in that area.
6:36 in other news this morning. Sauk County's board will not add a referendum to November's ballot asking voters what they think about restrictions on the Second Amendment. The referendum would have been just to get public opinion on the right to bear arms, would not have resulted in any laws changing. Supervisors could still hold a special meeting over the next few days to try once again to put that referendum on the ballot because any possible referendum needs to be approved by next Tuesday in order to make the November ballot.
Speaking of Sauk County, Sauk Prairie is among the top 5 safest cities in the state. That's according to an analysis by the FBI. Beaver Dam beat out Sauk Prairie for number 2 on the list. The town of Freedom in Outagamie County came in first place in that report. That report says all Wisconsin cities reported less than 1 violent crime per 1,000 people in 2016. The national average is just 4 per 1,000 people that year. It is almost 6:37 on this Friday morning. We are expecting up to an inch of rain here in Madison today. They're looking at up to 2 feet, though, in Hawaii from Hurricane Lane. We'll share an update in the morning sprint.
And one of the most iconic Packers players in recent memory is going to be in a different jersey tonight when Green Bay plays its 3rd preseason game. That story's next on News 3 This Morning.
Welcome back. 6:40 on this Friday morning. So it's the time of morning we always share your morning with everyone else out there. And Chuck posted this one from Lake Koshkonong, and boy, do we need to see that sun today because more rain is on the way. We've been talking about it all morning. Thank you, Chuck, for the moment of zen this morning. Whatever your morning looks like, post a picture on our social media pages or email with that hashtag MyNews3Morning. We share our favorites every day here on the program.
So it's going to be weird seeing Jordy Nelson wearing number 82 in silver and black tonight, not number 87 in green and gold. Nelson's Oakland Raiders host the Packers in California tonight for Green Bay's third preseason game. Nelson signed a 2-year deal with the Raiders after being cut by the Packers in the offseason. Tonight's game starts at 9:30 on the NFL Network. So we are learning more than 3,500 customers in Edgerton do not have power this morning. We're trying to learn why right now from Alliant Energy. Meanwhile, it's an alert day today because there's a chance we could get another inch of rain. Our flooding concerns aren't going away anytime soon. Hattie's First Alert Forecast is up next.
First, though, it is August 24th. We want to say happy birthday to Noah and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks so much for watching News 3 This Morning.
Taking a live look at East Wash this morning. City engineers are expecting to close down lanes there today because of that water you see everybody splashing through on the street. Hattie says there's more rain coming. We will check with her in a minute or so. Meanwhile, the UW campus remains one of the areas at risk for flooding. One of the buildings next to Lake Mendota already has water coming in.
So the facilities manager for the UW Center for Limnology have put up an inflatable dike to try and keep out any more water. He says everything should be okay as long as the water doesn't go over the dike. If it does, he says all of this summer's research samples and some archive samples could be at risk. The center showed pictures of its situation in a blog post Tuesday and wrote, "This is what climate change looks like."
Leave it to the scientists, Hads, to come up with clever ways to try and keep out that rain. Good morning.
Pretty impressive. Well, let's shift gears just a little bit and talk about the big weather story for the nation, which is Hurricane Lane. Again, dealing with copious amounts of rain in parts of Hawaii. It has weakened since last time yesterday morning. Now it's a Category 3 storm. Expected to take a northward track through the day today. Not expected to make landfall on any of the islands, though. That is an updated forecast. It will make a turn towards the west as we go through the weekend and move away from the Hawaiian Islands. However, it still is expected to remain a strong hurricane. Again, rain amounts already 2 feet in some areas. Widespread heavy rain is expected with this particular storm. Here's a look at what we have in our area. We're dealing with rain problems as well. Showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast again today, already moving through the area this morning. Some heavy rain is possible, as well as an isolated threat for severe weather. Here's a look at Doppler track across the state. We have showers lining up from north to south across Wisconsin this morning. More steady, widespread rain across Illinois. The good news, though, over the last 30 minutes, all of this activity has been weakening some as it gets a little further away from the storm system responsible for these showers and thunderstorms developing. Here in southern Wisconsin, the activity has generally been pretty scattered, starting to fill in a little bit more, but it will continue its northeastward track towards Madison as we go through the next 1 to 2 hours. So expect some rain as you head to work or school this morning. The severe weather outlook for today has shifted a little bit further to the west. Now that slight risk area right along the Mississippi River, the marginal risk area extending into Madison. So lesser of a threat for severe weather. The main threats for us today will be any additional rain here in Dane County. And through the morning hours, we're looking at about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch of rain here in Madison. Slightly higher amounts as you head towards the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. A break in the rain is expected through the midday. Not much change by 7:30 p.m. in those rain totals across the area, but that second round of rain arrives later today and goes through the nighttime hours. Rain totals are a little bit lower than what they were forecast yesterday, so that is good news. Around 1/2 inch here in Madison. Still up to 1 inch, though, possible across far southern Wisconsin with this particular forecast model. So again, any additional rain will be problematic. We're continuing to watch the weather through the weekend as well. Here's our first storm system responsible for the rain today. Will dry out behind this system on Saturday. Another system, though, for Sunday with this cold front moving through the state. This also brings a chance for severe weather to southern Wisconsin. We are all in a slight risk area on Sunday for heavy rain as well as severe weather. So let's take a look at your details for today. It is going to be a rather cloudy and cool day today. Temperatures will stay in the 60s to around 70. Rain chances high this morning, diminishing a little bit through the middle of the day, but then ticking up again through the evening hours. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We have highs right around 71 here in Madison today. Back into the 80s, though, for the weekend. Saturday, I think, will be the best day of the weekend. It's going to get really hot and sticky on Sunday. Again, that chance for rain arriving later on Sunday. And then the unsettled weather pattern continues through much of next week with chances for rain each day. Here's a look at our pet walk. Oh. Bagel and Chewy in Janesville. Oh, this is a good nap day.
It is such a good nap day. Way to go, you guys.
I think anybody who works this shift would tell you every day.
Well,
is
every
a good nap.
day.
Yeah.
Every day that ends in Y is a great day for a nap.
This day in particular. All right.
Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Morning Sprint's coming up next right here on News 3 this morning. 6:52, time now for the morning sprint. Today is an alert day as Hattie's talking about even more rain.
Christina Laurie's downtown reporting on street and lane closures because water's over the road. And Leah Lynchhead's going to talk about how you can help people who are affected by the flooding. But we start with the big picture. We expect to get later today from Madison Mayor Paul Soglin and city engineers about the impacts of the flooding here in Madison. They're holding a news conference at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll carry that live on channel3000.com. The city released more water into the Yahara River through Tenney Dam yesterday to make sure that dam doesn't break, which would have flooded the entire downtown.
The city says we should expect intermittent lane closures over on East Washington today, which should cause significant traffic delays as some of that traffic heads a couple blocks south to Willie Street. Water already covers parts of East Washington and East Main Streets, forcing their closure near the Yahara River, as well as East Mifflin near Livingston Street. Water there is a couple of inches deep. With water levels continuing to rise, the bad news is this situation could get worse before it gets better. This is all because of the Yahara River a few blocks to our east. Dane County staff estimates, as Adam said, it will rise another 3 to 6 inches today.
Thank you, Christina. There are several Madison Metro routes trying to work around the flooded streets as well. Route 15 is being detoured away from Deming Way in Middleton, and any route that usually takes East Johnson will also be detoured for the foreseeable future.
Madison garbage crews are going to be making special runs today and Monday to pick up anything damaged during the flooding. If you have large items like furniture or carpet that needs to be tossed, Streets Division is asking you to contact them ahead of time so they can set up a time to pick those things up specifically.
The city is also offering residents free sand and ready-to-fill sand bags at a number of parks and parking lots around the city. That includes locations at Tenney Park, Olin Park, James Madison Park, as well as others, and the East Main Street and McKenna Boulevard parking lots. You do need to bring your own shovel to help fill those sandbags. You can find this map and a full list of sandbag locations on the city's website.
Speaking of sandbags, they have enough of those in Greene County where the Sugar River continues to rise. The problem is that the county is out of sand as places like Broadhead start to worry about flooding. A number of roads in that area remain closed this morning because of high water.
A man is okay after being swept away by the rising water in the Koshkonong Creek. The Cambridge News reports that man and 2 kids were in a canoe that capsized yesterday afternoon. The children were able to hold on to the boat, but the man was quickly carried downstream. He was eventually able to climb to shore. The DNR is warning people about debris and quick-moving currents across southern Wisconsin.
The question on lots of people's minds during all of this flooding, how can I help? Well, we rounded up a list of ways. As an area flood assistance fund set up. You can give them a call to donate. In Middleton, police ask that you help clear gutters in your area so water can drain. And Monona is looking for volunteers to help sandbag. Here in Madison, you can donate to the Salvation Army and its Emergency Dispatch Services Fund, or to the Second Harvest Food Bank and St. Vincent de Paul. You can find this full list along with others over on channel3000.com.
Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast once again today. There's an isolated risk for severe weather and also the potential for some heavy rain. Right now this morning we're watching some showers and isolated thunderstorms push into southwestern Wisconsin. They have been weakening but will continue to track to the north and east through the morning. 2 rounds of rain though expected today. A break through the middle of the day and then another one coming tonight. Total rain anywhere from 1/4 inch to around an inch across far southern Wisconsin. And that's your first alert forecast.
Thank you, Hattie. The big weather story nationally is in Hawaii, where it's raining this morning as Hurricane Lane gets closer to land. Slow-moving storms dropping torrential rains, flooding low-lying areas, causing some landslides. Some parts of the Big Island received 20 inches of rain the last day. Even if the islands aren't hit directly, the rain and winds could still cause major damage.
The president is talking directly to Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Twitter this morning, calling on him to release unredacted documents linked to special counsel Robert Mueller, Hillary Clinton, and other Democratic critics. The president told Fox News that Sessions never took control of the Justice Department. Sessions responded with a statement saying his department will not be influenced by politics. President Trump has been pretty public with his criticism of Sessions ever since the Attorney General recused himself in the Russia investigation.
Lawyers for Wisconsin football player Quintez Cephas say there's evidence proving their client's innocence, including a text conversation between him and one of the alleged victims. Detectives say he assaulted 2 women while they were drunk back in April. His lawyers have filed a motion to get one of the sexual assault charges he faces dropped. The judge hasn't ruled on that motion just yet.
The city of Madison's no longer being sued by the real estate developer working on the major Judge Doyle Square project off the Capitol Square. City Attorney Mike May reported Thursday that Beitler Real Estate Services backed out of the lawsuit this week. The Chicago-based firm sued the city this summer after the Common Council authorized spending more, $11 million, that is, to finish the project.
6:57 now. Busy morning traffic-wise. Let's get a check with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, guys. The ramps exiting the eastbound Beltline at University Avenue in Middleton still shut down due to high water. Highway 14 between Mazomania and Middleton closed due to flooding as well. Johnson Street shut down between 1st Street and Baldwin Street in both directions. And the water levels on East Washington are beginning to rise. There may be some lane closures, so definitely keep an eye out for some extra delays. The westbound Beltline, though, is picking up. Still a few lingering brake lights from a crash near John Nolan. Other main roads leading into Madison, including on the interstate, are cruising along at the usual speeds with no major crashes or issues. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you.
And we do have rain in Platteville this morning. Expect showers and isolated thunderstorms here in southern Wisconsin this morning.
Stay safe, stay dry. We'll see you Monday.